What's up, everybody? I'm playing the Deer God. My videos are brought to you by Scotch Tape and Turtle Beach microphones, bringing you videos for the past 2 weeks. Nailed it. Well, I gotta say, the Deer God was just a random early access game I stumbled upon while going through the Black Friday Freak Fest Steam happens to have every year, and I wound up reading the description, and it just caught my eye. But I know what a lot of y'all are thinking. Prep, you got this over Telltale? The Game of Thrones series? They just made it. There were 5,000 games or so on sale. How could this game win over all of that? Okay, I have to admit, the answer was kind of easy. I knew I was going to buy Deer God off the sole reason that their description for this game happened to be amazing. I got it written down because it's a mouthful to say, but what they said is, the Deer God is a breathtaking 3D pixel art adventure that will challenge your religion and your platform skills. It's also all about survival, reincarnation, and karma. Prepare to feast your eyes on the beautiful light, day, and night system and the vast... Okay, well, the rest is probably hidden somewhere, but, who reads? So, just take my money. Well, the game starts off, and we find out pretty quickly that you're a hunter, and it doesn't look like you've done too well. So you decide to sit by the fire alone and continue looking for deers. Well, naturally, right before everybody gives up, one shows up, and you go to shoot it. But because I saw Bambi and I saw the wolves show up, instant karma just made me so happy. You're then shown standing in front of the true god, the Deer God, and because this game can't be over in 5 seconds after a cutscene, naturally, you have to be a deer yourself and prove yourself and basically pay for your crimes against nature. So, quick way to sum it up, you're a dick, God's a deer, got it. Okay, well at least they didn't lie. This art style is actually really nice, and I happen to personally love this music. So, the game's already starting off super well for me. Not to mention that this day-night cycle is actually going really good. Like, I just took this as an early access game that was gonna be, pretty low quality, have some problems, I had no faith. Just a really interesting description, and I am pleasantly shocked. But we all know you're not here to hear about the graphics and how the music sounds. You want to know how the game is. Is it fun? Is it broken? It's early access, Prep. Come on, let me know, should I buy it? And I have to say, this game is actually pretty fun. Well, when you first start playing, the game's actually pretty easy. It's more or less, you're going to be running to the right, and all you're going to be doing, you're going to be avoiding some animals, you're going to be marveling at the background, just listening to the music. And I'm going to say roughly after one day, or like one in-game day, you age. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, that's actually pretty neat. But you keep going, and you're slowly going to realize, like, there's more to do. You're going to be running, and you're going to find puzzles to do, and they're not all super obvious. You can run past them and never know you missed anything. I wound up running about 3 or 4 times before I even realized that there was stuff you could do to, I don't know what it does, but it floats up into the top left and whapa, something happens. But it will like max out your unicorn meter or whatever I call it. But you'll find puzzles and you'll complete them, and it'll give you cool little icons that I don't know what it does because this game doesn't tell you anything. Basically, the only way I've actually learned anything is from running into random deer who are like, I have a challenge for you. Can you go run to the right and jump off a ledge? Trust me, it works. If you succeed, I will teach you a new skill. So naturally, you're like, okay, cool, quest. I will follow everything you say because I want skills. And you go and you run to the right and you look for an area that's just a blind jump, and then you realize you used a skill and missed it. And you talk to him and he tells you the same thing. Run to the right. If you do, I give you skills. But you're like, whatever, and you can do what I did and just like jump to the left and then right back, and he's like, congratulations, you succeed. And that's how I learned how to forward bash, I guess. I mean, it was pretty cool. But at the end of all this, you run for about 15 minutes, if that. I have no idea how long it takes. But eventually, the lions, maybe tigers, porcupines, and at worst, hunters or fire, one of them gets you. And you die. And you run past checkpoints and stuff, you're not really thinking about this. And then it sends you to the menu. Dun dun dun! No continues. You die once, you start over. It's a runner. Why I didn't expect it, I have no idea. So, off to start over I go. And while running a second time, you start to realize you picked up an item and it says allows you to go again. And I have no idea how to activate it. I mean, I found a bunch of items and they all seem pretty easy. Just click on them, there you go, it works. I could never get that, respawn go again item to work. I did eventually get a continue, and that was because, ooh la la, I found a lady deer and we had a baby. But the first time we had a baby, it didn't end up so well. But other than being father of the year, I did eventually get it right. And I lost my kid. I'm assuming I brought my kid to a tower, which I originally thought was a checkpoint, and he just sat there, and then I got to play as a baby deer, and that makes sense to me. So if you play this game, I don't know how to checkpoint. I'm assuming that's how it works. I am going to have to give this game a massive thumbs up off of the sole fact of this has got to be one of the first times I have killed an enemy and felt massively happy. I was just trotting along, and I found 2 hunters. I used to be one of them, and then I realized they're wrong. So naturally, I wrecked their faces. And I have to admit, I have never had a feeling of, oh fuck yeah, so much in my entire life than I did that exact moment. And that right there just cemented this game into awesomeness for at least another 20 minutes as I continued playing. But in the end, this is a first impressions video, and the first impressions I did have with this game have pros and cons. The pros I've had with this game is the art style, the music, the running, the aging, the puzzles. You can run around and you can save creatures. It's not really part of the thing and has nothing to do with anything, but I just found it funny running down, you see a deer getting attacked, by a wolf or something, and you're just like, yeah, fuck you, wrecked, and, that just makes me happy. Also, I kind of like the side quest things that they give you, where you talk to other deer, and you can, talk to some humans, too. There's a blind guy, not blind, but, he can't see, and he lost his monocle, and he's like, go fetch it for me. Well, you go get it, I'm not going to spoil it, but the ending I found funny. So I like the quest too. They're not super in depth. They're no, Elder Scrolls. They're no Dragon Age, but they're enough to handle me. But there are some downsides to this game. You can't really tell how to use all these items. The game doesn't tell you everything, and some of you are super MLG pro at every game ever. We ain't need no descriptions. We good. Casuals, no casuals for life. All MLG. Well, I'm not casual, but God, do I like explanations. Put me down, give me a tutorial. I'll complain about it, but I'll love it in the end. Yeah, there's also some other stuff, sometimes you have the problem of it's a 2.5D game. It's supposed to be 3D, but it is 2.5D. And the foreground can possibly get in the way at times. If there's some crazy jump with a whole bunch of stuff and there's fire everywhere burning down the forest, and you have to jump between it and there's a tree straight smack dab in your face, and you almost die. You don't really, but it's scary. I'm just saying. That foreground, and I've also learned if you hit main menu, don't click escape. It just shuts the game down. But in total, I have to admit, I really like this game. I completely would recommend it. I've only played for about an hour or 2 hours, but the game, it's $5, That's not much. That's like a bag of chips and a drink. Man, bashing on religions and stuff? Come on. It's yo, what do you do? I'm Christian. What are you? I'm dear God. Have to do it. No way not to. So, would I recommend this game? Yeah, compared to a bag of chips and a soda, I would get it. But First impressions are the best, and this game made one hell of a first impression. So, hope you enjoyed the video, hope you get this game. I really liked it, and see you next time.